Wade to 4156 Andorra Road for a house fire with entrapment. We arrived on scene at 11:59 to a fully engulfed structure fire. The fire, it was a two-story. The fire was advanced to a level we couldn't make entry. We extinguished the fire from the perimeter, and fire marshal was called. Two fire marshals were present on scene. We started the search for the victim with the fire marshal. We did locate the victim at 7:35 a.m. Sunday morning. I'll open it up for any other questions you guys may have.
Chief, can you talk about how heartbreaking it was for the family and then for the firefighters at the scene to try and save Aiden, but by virtue of the fact of where the fire was and where he was, that it wasn't possible, and I guess the way it's affected the family and it's affecting the firefighters?
Yeah, so the family arrived home at approximately 9:30 Saturday evening. Their heat source was a wood stove, which they fired at that time. The parents' bedroom was located in the basement of the home, and excuse me, Aiden's bedroom was on the second story of the home. At approximately 11:30, the father was woke by the smell of smoke in the house. By this time, they had gone to the main floor of the house. The fire had advanced too far. They were yelling up to Aiden to jump out a window. We have no knowledge of, there's just no way to tell at this point what was going on that second story, why he couldn't get to a window. The heat and smoke goes through the house pretty fast, so there'll never be a full understanding of why he couldn't get to a window or what exactly happened there. Mom did try to re-enter the house, as far as a report from one of the deputies that was on scene just before us. Mom did try to re-enter the house. She did suffer a burn on her hand. Was not able to get, the deputy pulled him back at that time, took him back to the end of the driveway. From there, we arrived 3 minutes later, and the family, is a devastating thing. I'm a parent myself. Actually, I have children on the same sports teams as Aiden, and for the parents, I can't even imagine. For our guys, it was a very tough day as well. A lot of us have children that age as well, and just hard thing for the whole community.
Can you describe the cause from the wood? It's a wood burning stove. Can you describe what it appears happened that ignited the fire and caused it to spread?
The marshals did that investigation. There's not a clear path for what exactly happened there, whether there was a malfunction of the wood burner itself or an overheat situation. Due to the level of destruction, there's just not enough left there to tell.
Did they use that to heat the home?
Yes.
Gotcha.
How many members of the home, sir, and how long have they lived there?
29 years, I believe they lived there, and it was a two-story home.
Can you talk about smoke detectors or the lack of, and what role they could have played, and I guess what we can all learn from that, Chief?
There were smoke detectors present in the home, I believe, but unknown whether they were believed probably not to be in working order. And
So your observations on that?
my observation is the same as everybody's, I guess. I'm fully in favor of having them, and I think they give you a little bit more, advanced warning in a case like this. Sure.
Can you describe what difference that could have made, Chief?
I wouldn't want to speak into that for sure, but anytime you can be warned in advance, that's definitely a benefit.
Did you know Aiden, sir, and so what kind of young man was he?
I did not know him personally. I have watched him on the wrestling team and so forth. My kids did know him personally. Spoke very highly of Aiden. Very intelligent kid. I have spoke with Jason Eddy, our principal of the high school, who's in attendance here today as well, and very highly thought after young man.
Can you talk about the impact of the loss of Aiden to the community and obviously the school with all of his classmates and the family? It seems like he left a lot of footprints in the sand in Carroll County.
Yeah, if you're following Facebook at all, you can see he was a Carrollton wrestler, so the wrestling community has piled on, and I wanted to mention that the bad chain of events, we can't do nothing to change that going forward. What I really want to focus on is how can we help this family? As we said, it's an unimaginable time for them. Obviously, prayers are certainly a huge way we can do that. the next thing would be, from a financial status, I want to mention the McNutt Family Foundation Fund has been set up at the Huntington National Bank, and that is on 1045 Trump Road Northwest here in Carrollton, Ohio 44615. If there's checks or money that anybody wants to send there, as well as going there and dropping them off, that's certainly another way we can help this family.
Mr. Eddy, can we speak to you?
We made a statement with the family on our school's Facebook page. We just a joint statement. We worked with them to make that, so if you want to check
Okay.
there.
Anybody else on the floor have questions?
I just wanted to make sure I have the right Facebook page.
It's Carrollton Exempted Village Schools.
Carrollton Exempted Village Schools.
Yeah.
Any questions from the paper?
No, I just wondered if there's a photo of Aiden that's available.
That's actually on our school's Facebook page. There's
Would it be
one.
okay for us to pull that and use
Absolutely,
it?
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, guys.
Chief, could you tell us, I know your name is Chief Thomas, what is your first name?
Shane, S-H-A-N-E.
Chief, can you remember when you had your last fatal fire?
I believe our last fatal fire was out of this station. I'm not talking about in the county. Out of this station would have been the propane truck incident we had on State Route 332.
About how long ago would that have been?
That was approximately, help me out, Carol, 5 years ago? Approximately 5 years ago.
Is there any sense of when the medical examiner or coroner or the fire marshal might be able to give us any kind of sense of what actually happened?
Can you speak up there?
Any sense from the fire marshal, state fire marshal, the medical examiner, coroner, whichever you have in the county, to give you something more definitive about what actually happened?
The investigation from the fire marshal is pretty much closed at this point. There's not enough left to determine for sure. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. The coroner's report, I would say, would still be available. I don't know when. That would be Dr. Mandel Haas. You need to contact him to find out when his report would be available. But
Chief, did we have any knowledge about the arrangements for Aiden that would be at the school?
I don't at this time. I don't know where they'll hold that service. I imagine it'd be a large service. I don't know that.
In terms of this overall outcome, is there anything in terms of the response that can be learned and, taking into the future, maybe a different way of entering the home or anything like that, possibly?
I'm sorry.
In terms of, can the fire department learn anything from the overall response to kind of prevent these from happening again, or is this kind of an isolated incident?
I mean, somewhat isolated. As we said, smoke detectors are, there's a lot of people that have smoke detectors that are inoperative. There's a lot of people that don't pay attention to the battery life. This isn't an isolated case that way. There's a lot more of that than you would think. And so certainly we can learn to, pay closer attention to that. But other than that, I think it was just an unfortunate circumstance.